again, everybody, it's Robert 184, 2Rs2Bs, Gundam.tk. Good to have you here because for fans of the 1/144th real grade excitement embodied line, there's good news because the next kit to come out after the Gundam, Char Zaku 2, the Strike Gundam, and, well, the regular Zaku 2 is... It's the successor to the Strike Gundam as the lead Gundam of Gundam Seed. It's the Freedom Gundam, and that's something that I couldn't be more pleased about. Now, first of all, whenever you've got a new line coming out from Bandai, whether it's Super, Hi-Con Pro, or things like that, chances are you're going to get the RX-78-2 plus Char because, well, A, he's the big bad guy, and of course you've got the repaint possibilities. And when the third one was revealed to be the real grade Ale Strike, I was a little bit surprised because it seems like Gundam Seed, despite being something that really brought Gundam back into the limelight, but it's nearly a decade old, and with some of the new stuff, well, especially with Destiny in between. But when you're talking about how good 00 and Unicorn are perceived, Seed seems to have just fallen by the wayside a little bit. So the Ale Strike was a pleasant surprise. The Freedom is not so much coming out after that, but it seems that they're going to be doing combinations, whether it's Gundam Char, Strike, and Freedom. Now, of course, that just leads to the question of who's going to be next. But anyway, I couldn't be more pleased, and I hope that you'll be here to check out that review when it's coming up. Speaking of reviews, don't forget to check out my review of the Master Grade XS Gundam. Yes, it really is excessive in some ways. Also a little bit extraordinary. So check that out, that video will start going up today as well. One of the reasons I was so pleased to see that it was Freedom that's getting the next real grade treatment is, does it ever seem to you sometimes that it has been sort of overpowered by Strike Freedom just in terms of glory, when you're seeing things like Gundam vs. Gundam where Freedom doesn't even make an appearance, despite the fact that it is clearly the lead of the second half of the series. For better or for worse, this seems to be going along with Bandai's seeming policy of less and less master grades, and more kits that are designed to hit that sweet spot of 2,000 to 2,500 yen, as we saw in an interview earlier this year. But anyway, it's going to be really good because I still remember when Seed was airing in Popular. Strike and Freedom, of course, were just the greatest kits that had ever come out. However, something held me back from getting the high grade, and I remember in Strike's case it was specifically the fact that it didn't have gray on the shoulders. And for people that don't want to paint, something like those high grades are still a little bit disappointing, but if I like to collect, of course, the 1/100th, the master grade leads, but it would be nice to have a lot more 1/144ths, and I couldn't ask for anything better than to see these multicolors of white or gray in the Strike, along with Amuro's Gundam, and now the Freedom, and it only leads me to be even more excited about what they're going to be releasing in the future. So again, speaking of the future, what do you think is next for the real grade line? Are you impressed with all the ones that have come out so far? I don't have the green Zaku yet, that'll be one of those buys eventually, just because it's exactly the same as the one that you're seeing spinning around there, more or less. But anyway, could it be Strike Freedom? Are they going to go into newer stuff like 00? Could we get Destiny and things like that? Or are they going to take it in a totally other direction and old high grades? You'd think in terms of sales the Mark II and Zeta would always be a winner, but the Zeta, that's a pretty complex transformation to get into something that is only yay big. So that's going to be remaining to see. So why don't you let me know what you'd like to see with a comment down below. Are you buying Freedom? And whether you are or aren't, I hope that you'll be back to check out Robert 184, Gundam.tk. I'll have a review of that and lots more. Don't forget on my front page, I always have a list of the kits that I'll be buying for sure in the future. Stay tuned for that, and lots more, everybody. Thanks for watching. Links are down below to Gundam Guy and Information Station from Japan. You can check out those links, and stay tuned for lots more news, reviews, and everything else you can use. See ya. You know, if the series had been called Gundam F, well, then you'd be a lot more famous than you are, kid.